Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna. And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast, where we give you our opinions.
AKA the opinion. Were you going to say my line? AKA the opinions.
Wait, that's not... You didn't let me finish my line. Oh, crap. I said my line wrong. Where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for. What the hell did you say?
I think I skipped
She
part
was
of my...
too busy watching me eat chocolate thinking I was going to
She
screw
has
up
a
my lines.
chocolate-covered pretzel.
I didn't mess it up.
So yeah, we're giving her some chocolate-covered pretzels because it's 9:30 and we're hoping she'll make it.
Like a baby.
Yep, giving her a little bit of sugar and some snacks. They keep her awake. And we're going to be talking about Andor. The person, not the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Only true watchers will know. That's from our Rogue One episode.
I thought you meant like true watchers of Andor would know that it's a person, not a planet.
Well, yeah, they should too. So we're going to do the first 3 episodes, which when we had originally wrote these out, the day Andor came out, we are posting this on Friday, obviously, as you know, if you're listening to it the day it came out. They finally added title names, because originally they were just episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. So we're going to start...
Didn't take note of that. In case you listened to She-Hulk already, for me, this is similar.
Oh, yeah, she
the notes
has not taken notes. But I did ask you before you sat down, I said, because I wrote the synopsis for these as well. I did that for She-Hulk, and I did for these. She's going to cover Beverly Hills, that comes out, our episode that comes out on Saturday.
Dear God, pray for me that I got that.
I took a lot of notes, so.
You see, yeah, another 5,000 pages. This one, too, I turned around, and she had like 3. It was like a book.
Okay, wait, what was I going to say about this? Oh, but I asked you if you had a lot of, you good?
Yeah, no, I thought I dropped something.
Oh, I asked you if you had taken not just, like, notes on, like, what happens in the show, but did you take, like, oh, I find that interesting, and you go, oh, yeah, a lot. So, I'm expecting some thoughts and opinions. As we've been doing now, we're going to give you a little bit, like, a synopsis is what happened, and then towards the end, once we're done with all 3 episodes, I came up with a few questions that we could discuss, because in my opinion, which I'll get into it towards the end, I feel like these 3 episodes were kind of like one really long episode. So baby put her pretzels away. So if you can hear chewing, look, it's done now.
The guilt,
get a little free ASMR.
I was feeling the pressure of somebody over my shoulder, knowing I was chewing.
Sissy?
No, you.
I just figured I'd try.
I mean, she was stalking me pretty hard,
what was
too.
I gonna say? I can't remember what I was
Notes.
Now you threw me off.
No, you said about me having notes or something. You were saying.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back and see what I said.
Oh boy.
Okay, so what I was saying was that I feel like these 3 episodes were like one long episode. That's what I was just saying. Which it did sound like I finished my final thought, which I kind of did.
You know, I agree with that, because remember when we were watching it last night and like the first one ended and I'm like, what? It's over? The first one I kind of was okay with because it felt like we did watch a little bit.
Yeah.
But the second one, when the second one ended, I was like, wait a minute, what? And like that one ended weird.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that because one of my questions is like, you know, what would we think of the show overall? So we
I
can
guess
really get
they
into
were
that.
okay with that as long as they knew they were releasing them.
Yeah.
Together, because then most people would watch them. Probably.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like, oh, let me just watch one and savor it, or maybe they would. I don't know. That's whoever can do that. It's got some self-control.
I heard people were like really spacing out the like Stranger Things stuff, which I find hard to believe.
Just rewatch it.
We were actually not allowed to. We were taken to somebody's house, sat down, duct taped to the seat, and forced to watch the show at 6 a.m.
I'm gonna be like, wait, what? Yeah, no, that is true.
It's primarily factual. The 6 a.m. part being taped to a seat, no. But being forced to go to somebody's house, yes, true. We did consent to go though, so it wasn't like it was, you know.
Yeah.
But we really didn't have any option. All right, so episode 1, which was originally titled episode 1, is now titled Casa, which I didn't take this in my notes because I don't know why I didn't think it was important, but that's we'll later find out that Andor has a sister. That's what his sister called him was Casa.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's always been his name is if his true name is Casa, and just in case
You don't think that's like
maybe like a sister name?
Yeah, like a
well,
little
I was
sister
thinking
nickname.
either. So
Your favorite time has come.
Sissy's eating paper. And the last one, Cooper was crying. And I'm sorry, in She-Hulk. We were recording this
And now
back to back.
Cooper's sleeping.
And Sissy's
She
gonna
slept
tear
through
paper.
She-Hulk. He slept through.
He's
Andor.
sleeping through Andor. I'm gonna talk to her for
The price of having two.
I'll be right back. Okay, we had a mother and daughter conversation. I'm not sure if it's gonna be received well. Oh, it's sounding like she's already tearing it up, so I don't think it's been received well. Oh, Sissy. Well, we were. Every time I turn around to look at her, she's behind us. Listen to her.
Shaking paper out of her mouth. She doesn't eat it. She just
Rips
rips
it
it up
and throws
spits
it out of her mouth.
That's the worst part. She spits it out and then it's all wet and nasty.
So I'm gonna have to
Paper
go.
mache. Have you tried to get that off the floor after it dries?
No.
Oh, it's like paper mache.
I'm gonna have one more mother and daughter conversation about this. And we will be back.
Mention Nick Lachey.
Nick Lachey? What? All right, we had another mother-daughter conversation. I think the situation's fixed.
Yeah, she took the board away from her. Like an evil mother. kids are gonna
I
be-
once again forgot what I was saying before Sissy so rudely interrupted. Oh, we were talking about the name Casa. I don't know if that's like his true name is Casa, but you were saying, yeah, I could see it being something like a sister, maybe can't pronounce Cassian. But I was thinking, what if that was like his name and they changed it, like, well, you'll see it, Marva, who he ends up living with. Well, you've already know, but Marva, who he ends up living with, I wonder if maybe she said, like, took, like, it was like, Cassian, Casa sounds the same. And she was like, you have to go by Cassian now, so because Casa is maybe, like, a name that's very, like, traditional from
Maybe.
Canary. So maybe she was like, so you have no attachment to Canary at all. You have to go by Cassian?
Yeah, but here's my thing. Is like, the thing that I'm waiting to find out is, like,
She found the board.
is why are they so like hung up on like not letting anybody find out who the kids from there are?
Yeah.
Like, what's the big secret?
Well, I do have some theories about, we're going to theorize a little bit towards the end of one of my questions with what the whole Canary thing is. But to start the first episode, like I said, Casa, it starts on Morlana 1, which is a new planet, which I believe all the planets that are actually shown in the show are their first appearances anywhere.
Okay.
Like, this is the first time we see them on the screen. Just something interesting. And the year is 5 BBY, so 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. Obviously 5 years before Rogue One as well. And we see Cassian going to this club, which, it's not like a club, but I don't know if we can
It's
say...
a strip club.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if we can say that.
Why?
Like, I don't know if that's like a, like... I don't think that's inappropriate to say a strip
No.
club. But I know, like,
It's
YouTube...
a gentleman's club.
I know YouTube and things like that can be a little finicky with things that can
It's
be
a
considered
gentleman's club.
inappropriate. Yeah.
Futuristic gentleman's club.
And he's basically asking if they've seen a woman
Good
from
girl.
Canary around. Like we said, he has a sister, and we found out that this is his sister who he's looking for. And one of the women there says that she has seen this woman most likely, but she hasn't been there in months, and she does not know her name because you don't give out your name here. Oh yeah, good girl, Sissy. Sorry, I didn't realize that's what we were talking about. She went and sat on our coffee table, which still isn't broken yet, if you're a true one. I hope there will be one person at least that's been able to stay here. I've been here from the beginning for when the coffee table snaps in half. It will. It's coming. I just hope we're here to see it. So while he's leaving...
Or save whoever gets caught
Well, I'm
in the
hoping
middle
nobody's
of it.
on it. I hope it just, like, collapses on its own. All right.
Go ahead.
So while he's leaving this club, he gets attacked by these two officers of the Pre-Mora Security Inspection Team, which they're kind of like a private security for this town.
That's how
for
they
like a
kind of
corporate
explained it. Like
thing.
they were like
Like a
hired
security
out, like,
company, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Contracted out.
ooh.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to hold
no, it just didn't sound good for your laptop.
No.
And he ends up killing the one officer, and then the other officer's like, okay, we can go back to my officials and tell them what happened, and I'll lie for you and things like that. But he ends up killing him, so he kills both these guys.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna, like, go back with this guy. And then Cassian goes back to his home planet Ferrex, and we see a flashback to him on Konari, which is kind of like, I think primarily where they're in a flashback to.
Yeah, I saw that
like
coming.
that same
They're
age.
Because
you
back
were
and forth.
you were saying when we did a Rogue One episode one, by the way, I should have said that in the beginning, but we did cover Rogue One because we had not seen it up until this past week. Shocking, I know. We explained why we haven't watched it.
On it, but
no, yeah, we explained why we didn't see it in that episode, so I'm not going to re-explain it. Just go listen to that episode. But that's because you were saying in that episode though, like how like you made it like he said he's been doing this for his whole life. So
yeah.
how I think
he actually put an age on it. He said 6. Yeah,
but
so.
He looks a little older than 6 in these flashbacks, maybe.
Yeah, the sister looks 6.
6, yeah. So I think that's what these flashbacks are going to be to like his 6-year-old age where it started, and then like 5 years before, like how the person he became to be like a rebel in Rogue One. I think that's what we're going to see. So in the flashback, we see him with a group of other kids and his sister's there, and they're watching this like ship crash, and it's only like kids. Like I think probably maybe the oldest is like 18. Even that's pretty high, I think. Yeah. Like that girl who's like the leader, maybe 16.
I don't even know if she. Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know.
That
Definitely like teens, and younger. And back in the
present, like a little bit like Neverland, where they're all children.
Oh, I was like, what you meant by that? But yeah, just a group of kids basically. And then Cassian's droid B2 EMO, which this is the first droid I've ever seen like this droid. He could have been in other things, but I don't know. Says that his friend Brazos was looking for him, and he tells the droid that he has to lie and say that he never saw him today.
You know what I don't understand? Not to interrupt you, but the droids, right? Like, I'm finding that I liked the droid in Rogue One, that K2, but this one I thought was cute too, but I just thought there was like a thing where they said like droids, like, well, maybe it's just 3CPO that always says it, that he doesn't have the ability to like process feelings or something like that.
I don't know if they ever said
but
that. These
all seem to have like smart aleck answers and
personalities. Like, all the droids
like,
also always have like very like.
Do you know how many times we say like?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Go ahead.
But they have like.
Try not to say it. It's virtually impossible.
How do I transition that sentence? They have.
Sometimes you do have to say it, but
they have like what's the word? I don't know. Like I guess smart aleck. Yeah, like they always are very like sassy, maybe.
Yeah. Like they have very big personalities for droids that you wouldn't like.
Yeah, because even when you think about it, so like R2D2 can't speak the language, but even when he does that beep 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 beep, like it's like it's you know what he's trying to like convey.
Yeah, he's saying something very
like even
specific.
BB-8 too also is very much like that.
Yeah,
like the beeps you can tell like. But I think I don't know if it's that they don't have human feelings. I don't know. I don't know if that's just like stuff that we're projecting from like our world. Where I got that from, but like I know they don't treat them the same as humans.
Our world, no, our things don't have anything in our real world here. I'm sorry, that was a flop down of a big butt.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sarah can't even answer a simple question. Sorry. I'm the first person she's coming for, quite frankly. So after telling B2, which funny, he had a K2 and a B2, just something like, you know what I mean?
But she named this one, so we can't even go by that. But you're saying he named that one.
I don't know if he named that, if that's just their name. Like, I think that's just their model name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. But I just think it's funny that they were both blank 2s, you know? So after telling the droid that he needs to cover for him, he ends up going to speak with the guy Brazos and says that he wants him to cover for him for where he was last night. And obviously he was out at this club where he wasn't supposed to be, because I think it was supposed to be like corporate people.
Well, they have some kind of like business people that live in this area, or
like he shouldn't have been there basically.
Yeah.
So he wants him to like be like an alibi for where he was last night, especially because, you know, he did also commit technically 2 murders. Yeah. So he definitely needs backup. And then back on Morlana? How did I say it before? I can't remember. Morlana.
Yeah.
Morlana won. One of the people that work for this Primor security, the deputy inspector Karn, which I had to like get his name by looking it up, or like I think they did say it once eventually. A lot of these names I actually got from the subtitles. Like not a lot of people said each other's
Yeah, that's
names.
how I was getting names in Rogue One.
I was like, I'd see like the subtitles would be like Cassian.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd get like the names for these shows.
That is true. Like they did
They
not
don't really introduce people.
No, because I was like very much like, okay, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? I'm like, unless they shouted their names out, like
Yeah,
the
in
guy
my
that
notes
was with Bix, which I didn't know Bix had a name either for quite some time. The girl that was selling the parts,
Yeah.
I didn't know she had a name. And then the guy that she was with, they never said his name till she was pretty much screaming it out on the streets or whatever. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Most of them have to. I usually will get from like the subtitles just because I'm like, who are these people? Which I mean, I guess if they have long-standing relationships, they're probably not going to really be like, oh,
yeah, but you would
Say-
think they'd at least say their name like hey,
once, be like, oh, hey,
so-and-so.
Bix. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they did, and maybe we missed it. But
Because when they said she calls, and the droid says, "Oh, Bix was trying to call you" or something like that, like I'm like, okay, I don't know who Bix is, but okay.
So with the guy Karn, I think that's how his name is. It's like Karn. Karn. Karn? Yeah, I'd say Karn.
Yeah.
He's speaking with his boss about the officers who died because of Cassian, and the boss tells him that he has to cover up the officers' murder and say that they died helping people in distress because technically those officers should not have been at this club and they were technically harassing this guy, so it's not going to look good. It's just better to make up a lie. So then that's another one too that we say a lot. Apologies. I feel like I do a lot of but I try to cut them out.
No, only like is the only thing that I see.
It's
like,
my favorite transition word.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that.
Okay.
Sidebar.
So Andor goes and sees mechanic Bix, like we said, and he's trying to convince her to call like her secret friend who's like a buyer.
Yeah, which was kind of cool how when she did go to call him, like how they did that whole like little
climbing up like.
Yeah, like what is she doing? Because
at first I had no clue what she was doing.
She named a part, and I'm like, all right. I thought for sure she was trying to get something like underhanded or tell somebody something. I totally got. But like when he's like, oh, it's on the yellow rack, I'm like, oh, she's just here for a real part. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
that's
well,
what I thought
that
too.
sucks.
And then
she went and she went like into the shelving, and I'm like, what the hell's she going in the shelving? But I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe that's where the part is. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who am I to say?
But he wants her to get this friend to buy this KS9 Star Path, which I still really don't have a good grasp of what this truly is.
I think I got what
Okay.
it was. I think it's the navigation system for like a
It's
navigation
from
system from from one of the ships.
Yeah.
And if you have this, you can monitor everything. Like,
Okay, I didn't know if you
like,
could
loop
monitor
yourself in.
everything or
It
like
seems
hide yourself from
No, I think what they were saying was it would like loop in where all the ships are. So then like you'd be able to figure out where
so kind
they're...
of like that thing that we see the Primor people looking at, that map with all the ships on it that you asked me, what is that?
Yeah,
Maybe something like that.
Yeah,
I don't really
but
know.
I think it'll tell you like...
If you know what it is, let us know.
I think they'll tell you where like all their ships are or something like that, like so you can talk to them maybe or something.
I really couldn't figure it out.
So
and I
it's
did
not
try to
like
look
that.
it up, but I really couldn't find anything because I think
'Cause I
that
heard
show's
him
still
say-
so new
he said
that people haven't
something
really
about-
talked about it.
I wrote it somewhere. Aerial navigator. That's what I heard him say. And it's from the
Well, that
original.
sounds
It's from the original fleet.
That's your note?
Yeah, and it was because he went. I guess we're gonna find that out later, maybe in a flashback, that he was saying that he went in there undercover, kind of.
Yeah. At
Which,
first,
I'm thinking to myself, why? If you're, I thought that was something he did with the rebels, but I'm like, I guess not.
I thought at first, before he got to like explaining it, I thought maybe he got the Star Path thing from the ship that crashed on Canary, but we don't see him take anything from that ship in the next few episodes, so I don't think it's from that. That's what I thought at first. I thought it was like something that he's been holding on just like in case.
I could have took something, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think he ended up grabbing anything. And speaking of Canary, being another flashback of him trying to join in on like the I guess like the older kid group of the
Yeah,
kids.
he's desperate to get out
Yeah,
there with them.
they're like putting like war paint on their face, and
I think he just doesn't want to be like, because he does look like one of the youngest. I think
Yeah.
he just wants to like, yeah. He
like I
wants to
feel
go
like
on
he
the
could go in the
adventures
middle, and I think he wants to try to be with the older kids.
yeah.
And they all kind of are like, oh no, you can't do that. But the girl who's like the leader of the group is like, no, let him. Which, by the way, they don't speak any. They only speak in Canary, I guess.
I
there,
didn't understand that, 'cause
and
how
no
do they say their names?
subtitles or anything, which is kind of like interesting
Thank
because
God it's one piece of paper. Yep, there you go. You got one.
what? He's got his one piece of paper.
Yeah. Something that he signs. I don't know.
Who signed?
I don't know. That's where I was going
You
with
kicked
it.
the mic again.
Oh crap! At least that downplayed the fact that I
What the hell are you talking?
started talking about paper.
Pause. We need a pause. Okay, we took a pause. Hopefully we regrouped enough. So back in the present, the guy
You meant like
you. She's back in the present. No.
she's back here.
The guy Cran has the like other security officers. He has this one guy filtered through all the ships that were like
Is that the guy that was the leader of the whatever?
yeah, that
security?
main guy.
Another one didn't catch
That's
his
what
name.
I'm saying. I had to look it up. Actually, I don't
Didn't
even think I
catch
got
his
it
name.
from the show. I actually got it from online because
'Cause I
I was
think
sick
he
and
called
tired of
him-
typing out the deputy inspector every time I wrote his name.
No, what was the other guy calling him? The one that was egging him on to
I
go.
think I
out.
heard him. Either I got it online or I might have heard him call him Cran once.
No, but I don't think he was calling
he's
him
a
that.
deputy inspector.
I
That's
think
what that
he
guy
was-
is.
But I think he was calling him like sir and stuff like that. Well, sir doesn't serve any purpose to the people watching, my friend.
doesn't help. Yeah, so it was a struggle to try to get these names.
yeah, it
really,
really
was.
was.
So he has the one guy filter through these ships, and he ends up seeing. I think he points out that like obviously Andor ship is like the weird one out. And then obviously we see how you were saying that Bix goes out and makes this like call in this like weird looking tower thing, and her boyfriend Tim with 2 M's tries
Yeah,
to follow
really.
her, but he ends up losing her.
What? What?
He's back awake. He said, "Don't leave me out of this episode." So Cran ends up having a bunch of officers put out a wanted for a Canary man, just to come in for like questioning. And there's no money with this. It's just like if you see this man,
Yeah, I don't think they would have ever found him without that guy
with Tim.
calling in.
And then we get a flashback where we see Cassian leave his sister to go with the like rest of the group. And that's where episode 1 ends. And then episode 2, that would be...
They were very quick episodes.
They were 40 minutes.
Can you
Okay.
hold this?
She's standing up, by the way, so if she sounds distant, she's
I'm
trying to
coming
settle Cooper up to sit with her in the lap.
Okay.
And now Cooper's sitting in her lap, so he's joined.
He's joined the party.
Um,
He's not exactly comfortable. He's a little scared.
yeah. He's
Gotcha,
a little
boo-boo.
higher up than normal.
I gotcha.
Episode 2 is called
He's
That Would Be Me. I don't really know why it's called that one. Like, Casa makes sense because that's what his sister called him. And this is like that's the introduction to his sister. But I don't know what this one is. Maybe I missed something. Hi, Cooper. So episode 2 picks right up from where episode 1 ends. And we see that the original civilization of Canary has been, like, destroyed. And we don't truly know why yet. And then... I can't with Cooper snoring. And then...
He's awake though.
It's just his breathing. We do want to apologize for any snoring of Cooper, by the way. If you can hear it. I mean, maybe it's good ASMR, but yeah, he has a little trouble breathing. We've asked doctors. They haven't commented. So Bix and Tim, they find out that Andor... they see the post that Andor's wanted. And then we see Cassian meet up with Marva, who he lives with. So kind of like, I guess, like his adopted mother, you could say. I'd say that's who she is.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be more decrepit than that. Not to be mean
What
to
do you
her.
mean decrepit?
Like old and like, cause the way he talked about her in the first episode, like he made it sound like she was like so helpless and like she needed so much like caring for and all, and she didn't seem like that at all.
Well, speaking of her, and I can't believe I'm going to bring it up in this, that is Fiona Shaw. She's from Killing Eve. No, it's not about Killing Eve. Speaking of decrepit, they made her look so old in this show. She's not that old.
No, I know. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
in I don't know if it's just because it's a drastic change where she has, like, gray hair in this. And, I don't know. Like, on Killing Eve, she typically has, like, shorter red hair. And her character in Killing Eve, Carolyn, is always so, like, put together and prim and proper that I don't know if it's just such a drastic change from Carolyn, who's put together and prim and proper, to Marva, who is not, I guess you could say. I don't know, I just felt like that. So Marva, though, once he gets there, has B2 read out the wanted sign for him, and she wants to know, how do people know that he's from Canary? Because they've falsified, like, almost every document.
And apparently she told him not to say anything, but he sounds like he shared it with a lot of people.
Yeah, like almost everybody knew. Like, Bix knew, Tim knew, but she didn't seem like she told him.
Well, she said that I think she knew she told him, or she might have mentioned it.
And then there's another guy who she goes to when she goes to make that call to her secret friend, who also seemed to know about him.
Yeah, I think he knew.
Yeah,
he might have known because maybe he said something himself.
I don't know. And then the other guy, Brazo, seemed like he knew. Like, there is quite a few people to know for her to make it seem like you really shouldn't have told anybody.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It did seem like he actually told quite a bit of people. But him and Bix end up meeting up to talk about, like, the situation that happened on Morlana 1. And then Tim sees this and he's drunk, so he gets jealous, and that's when he decides to report Cassian to the it's the Poor More. What the hell is it? Pre-More. I'm not gonna lie, when I originally wrote these notes, I wish I fixed on my notes. I think I called them Mara Pra. That's not even close to being right. But they said it once in the beginning, and I had to remember what they said, and they never repeated it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep calling them Mara Pra, and I'll look it up tomorrow and figure out what the true name is. And now I know.
Mara Pra.
It's... What is it?
Pramala something?
Pre-more. Not even right. Both of us had it wrong.
At least I had P and an M.
Yeah. And then on Morlana 1... the officers bring up Cassian's file, and he basically has a ton of things. Oh.
You know what I thought was weird in this whole episode, too, was, like, not just this one, but just in general, that other guy that he met with in the beginning that said, oh, those two gentlemen deserve to die, kind of, because they were this, that, and the other thing.
The boss?
Yeah. Like, he said not to do anything about this. Like, so nobody, like, caught on that he was doing his own full-blown investigation with, like, he had all those people at the tables, like, doing
he clearly went behind his back and ended up not doing what a boss said to do. The boss said keep it under wraps and do it.
That's
but then
he
enlisted like 4 people to, like, do this, and then when they actually go to, we're gonna deal with him, and then we're gonna reconvene. We're reconvening. He's been dealt with, I guess, question mark. I don't know. He'll be back.
I walked in and looked at him, and he stopped, and then I don't know what nope, see? There he goes.
See, he hasn't truly been dealt with. But how we were saying with what was I going to say? We're going to try one more time.
Because what do you need?
Because we talked to Sissy twice, and it fixed it. So we're going to talk to him twice and see if it... Yep, we'll be back. He's quiet for now, so let's go. Okay, so how we were saying how you were saying that he, like, we said he talked to the 4 people, but then he also brings out, like, I think 4 different teams with him to go end up in the end, go get Cassie.
Yeah, they had, like, the North team, the West team, the East team.
Yeah, so, like, in the end, he ends up having, like, a ton of teams, so I'm interested.
How did nobody notice that was, but that's what I'm saying, how did nobody notice that was authorized for him to, like, travel to this other planet?
The boss had to go somewhere. Remember, he had to go to, like, some kind of convention or something to talk somewhere. Yeah, he mentioned that in the first episode.
Oh, I remember him saying something like, don't put your feet on my desk or something.
Yeah, well, he's gone, so he's not there, so maybe that's how he's getting away with this. So I think we'll see the repercussions in the other episodes. But he ends up having these people bring up Cassian's file, and in the background you can actually see they bring the woman that he spoke with at the club in. That hasn't led anywhere yet, but I just noticed that. in the back. And then we get another flashback, and we see that the group of kids are like heading to like the wreckage now. Like I think they spotted it, and they're just kind of like surveying the area. And then
Which I give them a lot of credit for, because like if they're just by themselves, like little kids, like I'd be afraid.
yeah, but here's the
They
thing.
do seem afraid, but I mean,
Yeah, but what's interesting, I don't think they left like one adult with all the little kids. Like it's split into two groups, like the older kids going, and then like
there was like
Cassian's sisters.
there was
there.
some, like when you looked at Herb in the back, like you did see some taller ones, but like I don't think there was like older kids.
Yeah.
you know. But
Oh,
he's going back over.
one more time.
Cooper, can you wait? Okay.
No comment. All right. So in the present day, Cassian kind of decides that he needs to leave Ferrex and get out of there, and then it goes.
Well, I think he's been trying to do that this whole time
Well,
since he
yeah.
shot that guy, because
Yeah, he kind of realizes he has to go, but like now that the wanted poster's out, he really like decides, okay, I gotta go. And we get another flashback, and the leader basically goes up to the wreckage, and there's kind of like a bunch of people from the ship scattered around, and one of them ends up getting up and just shooting her out of nowhere, and then all the kids kind of have these like what is that, like a blow dart, I think it is.
It was some kind of dart, and looked like it was probably like a bamboo or something that they were spinning
Yeah,
through.
I think it's called a blow dart, and they basically shot it at the guy
Yeah.
and ended up killing him.
They were dipping them in poison initially.
Yeah, and they start carrying her away, and you see like Cassian kind of eyeing up the ship, like not gonna probably go with the rest of the group. And then back in present
Yeah,
day,
you kind of already saw back then that he was like that rebel that was not going to follow the straight and narrow path
yeah.
that everybody else was doing.
And in present day, he speaks with this guy about like getting out of here, like I guess getting like a ship ticket. I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what cracks me up is like it sounds like he's done a lot of like, I don't want to say shady things, or like illegal things, but like things that are not like quite normal like this, and like nobody ever questioned that. Like he had to be going back and forth to get stuff from this for the they weren't mines. What am I trying to say?
What the hell are you talking about? I don't know where you're going with this, so I cannot help. I don't know why.
Forget it. It'll come back to me. Go ahead.
Okay, no, he talks to this guy about getting like out of here, and the guy.
No, that's what I was gonna say. He when he's talking to the guy, he's saying to the guy like, I needed to be like incognito, like quiet, on the down low. And it seems like he does that all the time. So nobody thought like this guy was like suspect.
Well, before this, he had a friend's ship that he borrowed, and then the friend.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even with that guy, like
I don't know. Well, the guy told him you can't borrow it again.
no, I know. I mean, I guess that means he got, not that he got caught, but the guy felt like he was up to something. But
Yeah.
like nobody ever questions what.
Pop.
What? Oh, nobody ever questions like what he's doing is like illegal. Like even when he first comes on with that other guy, what's the other
Brazos.
guy? Yeah, like when he comes out of the factory and he just starts walking up to him, telling him the lie that he wants him to lie for him. I'm like, and then he just when he started like jumping right back into
Well,
lying,
maybe
like,
it's something
what?
like he kind of has done that for him before. Or something.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like nobody thinks like, well, they actually do comment
But they
on him
know
saying
who
that
he is,
hasn't
so-
changed and he's the same way and always gonna get himself in trouble.
But I mean, they know that like
guess,
the
yeah.
people that are
Yeah.
helping him kind of know that he's from Canary, so they clearly know that he
Yeah.
needs to get out of there. So what I was saying was the guy that's getting him out of here he had read the wanted note as well, and he's talking to I think
I
one
liked
of the friend.
I liked how I felt like that was total filler. Like they wanted to somehow bring it out, like put it out there, and like that was the perfect like.
Yeah, like to explain what
Yeah.
happened to Canary.
Yeah.
And basically they said that it's like a mining accident caused by the like Empire.
Yeah, it was like something to do with toxins or something.
No, a mining explosion.
I thought they said toxic.
No, that was the ship I think that blew up.
Oh.
Eric Voss was mentioning that the ship that blew up had like chemical explosion or something.
Yeah, well, those people looked green or something.
Yellow, yeah. He said, I think he said it was from like the
so
chemicals.
something definitely wasn't right with them.
And then the officers from the what the hell is it called again?
Premora?
Premora, you're right. Premora
She'll say I'm asleep.
head to Ferrex, and we also see Bix's secret buyer friend also heading to Ferrex, which I have to say, which I did see right here where I called them. See, I wrote Morapora. You see right here? Morapora. That's what I called them. Morpra. Morapora.
It's you got it backwards. That's all.
Yeah, I knew I had it, but I didn't have it. The Primora. So I think. Oh, I feel like the outfits that the Primora had on, those blue. I feel like I've seen them somewhere.
You know what? I think they look like those.
What?
The gray ones. Who had one on? Am I thinking of Obi-Wan?
It doesn't have to be in Star Wars. I'm saying like even in another show, just like in some other where I feel like I've seen similar like costumes like that somewhere. I can't put my finger on it where I've.
No, but I think it's those stupid hats. Those hats. They all wear those stupid hats.
No, I'm talking about like the blue shirt. I don't know. I feel like I've seen it. It could have been a show I watched and you didn't. All right, on to episode 3, The Reckoning. This one starts with a flashback, and it's Cassian deciding that he's going to go in on his own and explore the crashed ship, which we kind of obviously saw in the last one where he was like, obviously he was going to go in it. And Bix's secret buyer friend ends up meeting up with her, and they discuss the Cassian Canary thing, which means that this guy also knew, which we do find out that later that he did like previous research on Cassian. So,
yeah, I'm not surprised because I think he's
definitely more than what
he's the recruiter probably for the rebels.
Probably.
Should let him push him out.
Oh. Yeah, but
he said that thing about the father that I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know
because because she didn't look like she had a husband or anything.
Who?
Marva.
No, I think he's talking about his actual dad from Canary.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does anybody know what happened to him? He said they hung
the dad, I think, or something.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to like try to piece together. And then in another flashback, how you're saying Marva is like, what?
If he was 6 years old when all that kind of stuff started happening, then that would be like he'd be really young to remember stuff. I mean, I guess you can remember
6 maybe, but I don't know.
But I don't know.
So. In another flashback, how we keep referencing that Mara is like his, like I guess, adopted mom. We see Mara and B2 finding Cassian on the ship as he's exploring it, and she ends up sedating him so she can get him off the ship because she's telling him that the Republic is coming and that if they find them or even him alone, if they leave him, that they're gonna kill him and she's not gonna leave him there.
I wonder what happened to the guy that she was with.
Yeah, I bet it will probably be explored somehow. Because we have, I think there's like 12 of these episodes, so there's quite a bit of these.
Yeah.
And then finally the Primora land on Ferrix, and they go straight to Marva, and Cassian ends up kind of like exposing his location because he uses like comms, and he talks through B2, and they realize they use like a tracker to like pick up where the signal's coming from.
Yeah, they can track this.
And
it's the same thing like a cell phone, you can track it. I just thought it was weird that they landed where they did. It was kind of like in a, I guess... I'll use it, junkyard for lack of a better word.
Well, no, it is. It's like a scrapyard.
Yeah,
they're
it's
taking
like a scrap
chips.
And I'm like thinking to myself, why would you land like?
I guess you need like an open flat land, to land, and you can't technically land where all those houses are.
Yeah, no, I figured that, but I don't know. I thought
that might have been like the next closest place because that is where everybody in the town seems to go and work is at the scrapyard. So that's what I would have to assume. And Cassian ends up meeting with Vix's friend Luthen, which I think we don't get his name till like then or something as well. Another one that we're struggling with the name. And he's talking to him about selling this.
I think I picked up his name from the closed caption. Yeah, the subtitles.
I think I saw it say Luthen. And I was like, okay, well, let me put that down. That's obviously his name. And then one of Bix's friends come in and warn her that the
it was the young kid. No,
it was the
dad.
Well, the young kid warned the dad, and then he warned Bix, and Bix kind of realizes in that moment that Tim is probably the one who like. Well,
I don't think it was till she saw him come back in because she's like, how would anybody have known? And he made that comment. He said, "Don't worry about him." And she's like, "How do you know who we're talking about to worry about?" And then she realized he must have said something.
Told on him, and obviously we know that he did. And then back with Luthen, he tells Cassian that he'll pay him extra if he will tell him how he got this star path. And he basically says that, like how you were saying,
he like infiltrated
them because they wouldn't be expecting him. And Luthen, obviously, how you were saying, the dad, he kind of like leads on that he knows obviously more about Cassian than we expected. And then honestly, we do even know about him.
We didn't hear anything of that.
and he wants him to come with him.
But that would make sense because if his dad or whatever parents died when he was like 6, not that he wouldn't know English, but chances are he wouldn't know words properly. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, all the sister kept saying was his name. Like, she...
Cassian. Well, they did speak in Canary. So they had their own language. Which is interesting because it doesn't seem like, obviously, Marva knew what Canary is. So I'm curious how she taught him, like, this word in Canary means like this. Like, you know how if you teach somebody, like, okay, this word...
She probably just didn't do it. She probably just went, like, held up a cup and was like, cup.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I think that's probably what she did. Was like,
well,
true.
Just...
Yeah. And maybe then he was like, I wonder if he still speaks Canary, though. Or he remembers it, I wonder.
That's interesting. Because they did say...
Because that would be a good way to know if somebody was... Because if he's looking for his sister, there's no way he knows what she looks like.
She looks like exactly.
And that's why he asked that girl, do you know what her name was? Because he doesn't probably even know what she went by.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably like a good way to know if that's a real... Like,
yeah, well, she wouldn't know
if
what he looks like as well.
If like that was really his sisters, if they can speak the same language.
Yeah,
so obviously
I'm sure they probably can.
It's very limited to a certain group of people.
As far as we know, at least that young group of kids are the only like living people from Canary. So obviously they would be the only ones that can speak it. And then Bix tries to go, like, I guess, like maybe warn Andor. Like, I called him Andor. I wrote Andor because I just didn't feel like typing Cassian really out every time.
Yeah, I write Andor. I don't write Cassian.
Sometimes I do because then and then when I read my notes, I'm like Andor. But I don't know. I call him I don't know. Whatever. I could see either one works. People in the show called him Andor. But Bix is, like, I guess, trying to maybe warn him. And she ends up getting captured by the Pre-Mora. And
because they see her running or something, and she looked suspicious,
worried.
I guess. So,
and they were like... Well, I think the one guy said, you look a little too worried to be going home.
Yeah. But why would you think that she would not be worried? I mean, they're coming through the streets like a bunch of banshees. Yeah. Like, so, they're,
And, like, I think they made it seem like they've never really come to this planet. So, like, this is, like, their first time with these people.
They said that in the scrapyard. The one guy goes that we haven't seen blues here in a long time.
Yeah, so
obviously, I guess it's a peaceful planet, or they solve their problems alone.
I think it said, when I tried to look up the Primora a little bit, they kind of made it seem like they kind of... out of the more not galaxy, but like section of the planet, they kind of have left Ferrix to figure everything out on their own. Like, it's not really part of their whole.
Well, they don't seem like they have a lot of
jurisdiction. Oh, obviously, I thought you were talking about the thing, but
no, I'm talking about the people.
No, because I think they have like their.
Well, yeah, because when the bell tolls, they go to sleep, and everybody agrees with that. Is that you or me?
That's you, probably, because I shut my ringer off. Who is texting? Dean.
What is he? I'm a little confused. I got the letter. I'm a little confused. Oh.
She sent my cousin, her nephew, Burger King coupons in the mail. Pop, pop. We got them in our mail, and we don't eat fast food, and we're also vegan, so we don't even there's no point for us to really consume fast food anyway, because there's really not much, even though Burger King has the most vegan options out of meats. But she goes, you know what? I'm going to send this to Dean because I think he'll want to use it.
Who wouldn't want to save money?
I don't know. But yeah, sorry. That's what that was about. Little sidebar there. Where was I? Now I'm all thrown off with that. Oh, so while Bix is being captured, Luthen and Andor like get into a shootout with the Pre-Mora that are the East team, I think.
I have to say, like, some of their special effects were good, but I thought that one was interesting, how they had those, like, things, like, falling from the ceiling, like, whatever they were,
almost like an Indiana Jones, kind of like thing where, like, they're like a trap, kind of, I guess you could say, like, randomly falling. And they do end up being able to escape, but they don't get the Star Path thing with them. Which I wonder if that will come back to bite them, maybe?
Well, I just think they won't have it. Yeah. But, it's not like they can do anything with it either.
No.
If anything, it makes the Primora or whatever look better that they were able... They didn't get the guy, but they were able to,
to get
recapture
this important thing.
Yeah.
And then Tim ends up finding Bix, and they tell him to wait there, and he doesn't wait. So
Nobody listens on this planet.
they shot him, and he died.
Yeah, they never listen. They like just.
Honestly, I felt nothing for that because he was annoying. So
Yeah,
I'm not
I
even
wanted
upset
him.
he's dead.
Yeah, he needed to go.
And then Cassian.
Except now she has no help at the shop, but that's neither here nor there.
That didn't seem like he was much help. Remember, she told him to do things, and he didn't do it
Yeah,
anyway. So he was
well.
kind of, you know what? He was kind of dead weight. Sorry.
Literally.
Oh. I didn't think about my wording there. So Andor and Luthen end up sneaking up on the guy Karn because they're all like waiting for them to come out, and they pretty much tie this guy up, and they send out a decoy vehicle with like bombs on it, and they do that so that they can escape and kill some officers off as well. And they do escape on a speeder, and they make it to Luthen's ship. And really cool, they kind of lace in between him leaving on Luthen's ship and then leaving on Mara's ship as a child. And that's...
Yeah, they did a lot of that, which I have to say, even the way they did the cutting back and forth from him being a little kid, like, they kind of tied it in, like, nice.
Like it fit to where they were.
Yeah, like they tried to explain.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? How Arrow's flashbacks would be, like, very linked to what was going on
You
in
were
the
almost,
episode.
like, questioning, like, wait, is it happening at the same time?
Well, obviously, see,
because it was a little bit seamless, but...
Yeah, this we obviously know is not because it's a child.
Yeah, because they're children,
but Arrow was pretty good with that, I will say.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's our little recap of the episode. So I have 4 questions that I figured we could talk about. One, we don't really have to talk about, but I just wrote this down when I was watching it, and I thought it was kind of interesting, so I wanted to mention it. The volume is where they typically film most, if not all, of these new Star Wars shows. Mandalorian was the first to really use it. I know Boba Fett used it. I'm not sure if Obi-Wan used it. They might have. I have not got to watch the documentary yet.
How's that screen thing?
Yeah, so basically it's like if you took a giant projector, wrapped it around, and it's interactive with the camera, and it's instead of using a green screen, I think they probably went with this because Mandalorian is in like chrome armor, so it's, the green reflections in the helmet would not be great for that. So this is like a really easy way to do it. But I was like, I wonder if they used this for the volume because it did seem like really big set pieces. And then we watched Eric Voss from New Rockstars talk about it, and he actually said that the town of Ferrix, they completely built that whole town out the way we see it. It's like a whole town. He showed like an overview shot. I recommend going to watch his video. Well, first off, Eric is insane with Star Wars. I think out of any breakdown, he will translate the words.
Do you think he likes that better than
I don't know. I don't know if he likes it better than Marvel, but I feel like Easter egg wise, I think he does.
He was just rattling off like the signs over the doors when Bix was going to make the phone call, and I'm like, okay, it's like a V and a C and a T, maybe. I think I don't know what it is, but like, he was like repairs like this. I'm like, okay, dude.
Eric always does this, no matter what Star Wars thing is. So I recommend going to see what Easter egg is because I think he likes it more because I think it's like an actual Easter egg that you have to find. Where Marvel's, a lot of their Easter eggs are very like up front and not so hidden. But he did say that they actually built a whole town for them to walk through, which I think is interesting. They might have used the volume for other shots, but I don't know yet. And I would probably watch the Andor documentary when it comes out. And then I'll get back to you on if they used the volume or not. So my thing was, how did these kids end up on their own? Obviously, we know it's a mining accident, but I'm going to share my answer first, just so you can theorize off of that maybe.
Okay.
So the show, like it says, it's a mining accident caused by the Empire. But I literally wrote in my notes, the amazing Eric Voss. Once again, listen, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm always going to quote him because I feel like Marvel, DC, I feel more comfortable knowing what I'm talking about.
I know.
But no, I think you hit the mic.
I did.
Oh.
I know when I hit it now.
No, Marvel and DC, I feel more comfortable, like I'm very knowledgeable. Star Wars.
You watched it longer.
Yeah, Star Wars, I still don't feel like I know like every little bit. At least I accidentally was swinging my hands around, and I pressed the pause button, and I stopped recording.
I was just gonna say
so sorry. What were you saying?
I have the sniffle. Sorry.
Oh. So what I was saying was I don't feel like I know Star Wars the same way at least Eric does.
Yeah.
So he actually said that the suits that the people in the wreckage crashed in were Clone War era suits, I guess you could say. So like this point from him being a child was taken during the Clone Wars, so that was pre-Darth Vader, just to give you like an idea. Pre-Darth Vader. So technically, the Empire wouldn't have been able to cause the mining accident because we're already seeing that they're in the Clone Wars while the accident is long finished.
So who's in charge during the Clone Wars?
So that's the Republic, like the Jedis, the Senate, and all that. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like Padme right now would be in charge. So, which you could correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm not 100% with all this. It's very confusing. It's a lot to keep track of. So I don't know if you want to take a guess on who you think it might be. Like, who you think could have done this. Now, knowing that it couldn't technically have been the Empire because it wasn't the Empire yet.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to turn out to be just something innocent, like the people themselves just they hit something that they shouldn't have accidentally.
Well, I was going to say, that's true. I didn't think
But they're going to try to make you think like it's some like underhanded, like dastardly thing. But meanwhile, it was just the people themselves. But the only thing that I don't get is that that doesn't work.
You're just bending down.
The only thing that I don't get is that it seems like only the adults were affected.
Yeah, so I guess the kids wouldn't be working.
Yeah, but were the mothers too?
I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When they showed those caverns or whatever
it was serious.
They were extensive. But I mean, like I can't see a woman doing
unless that's their village. That's where they lived, maybe.
Maybe that's where they were. I don't know.
I was gonna go with that. Maybe it was something the Republic itself did, like, and they're trying to cover it up to, like, at the time they covered it up to make themselves keep a good image for everybody, so everybody still trusted in them. But I don't really know. That does seem right. It could have been maybe like an accident. Maybe like something was going on, like a war in the sky or something that we don't know about, or like the clone. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think obviously what we know from what the guy read online is obviously true.
Yeah.
So my one thing that I watched when I watched these, I kind of looked a little bit more into it, but like, who really are these Primora officers, and like, do they have a connection to the Empire? Because this is the first time we've ever heard of them.
I don't think they really do. I think they're just like guns for hire kind of type thing, like security, like kind of.
Well, I looked it up. It is a private security for the Outer Rim. And it does seem to have like a tie to the Empire, but not like a super, like, they're not like Darth Vader stormtroopers or anybody like that, or like, for example, like the clones. Like, they're nobody. I think they're just like somebody that, nobody. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think a lot of people like pay attention too much to the Outer Rim, maybe.
Yeah.
So they just kind of let people do whatever they want, and these people just got private security. I think we'll find more about them obviously as the episodes go on. And our last question, a nice simple question. What did you think of the 3 episodes that we've gotten so far?
I thought they were slow.
Yeah, they were definitely a little slow. But even Rogue One was a little slow, too.
Yeah, they were definitely slow, where, like, I was struggling to pay attention.
Yeah. I mean,
like, not to pay attention, but, like...
Sometimes Mando had episodes that were kind of, like, slow.
No, he definitely did. But, like, there were, like, points with him that I was like, where are we going with this? Like, I kept asking myself, where are we going with this? Like, he shoots these 2 cops. Okay, nothing really comes of it. I mean, I know it triggers the whole investigation type thing with the other guy, but, like, it's like...
Well, when he did that and on that planet, as soon as he started messing with those guys in the bar, I kind of was like...
Yeah, I knew they were going to fight with him, whether it was
outside
or inside.
Something's going to have to... This is going to have to be important in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be something outside. Or like, they'll run into him again in a bad scenario or something, which I guess he did.
Yeah. For me, I don't like when they do multiple episodes released on the same day, just because then it shortens the time that we have with these shows.
Yeah, but maybe like we said, this one kind of needed to go. Yeah, like
that's what I was gonna say. I actually like that they released these first 3 episodes.
Are they doing another 3 or
no? They're doing one episode. But I feel like maybe these 3 had to be together because they felt like one episode, like just one really long episode, but instead breaking up into 3, so it feels more tolerable. Because we did technically, like, I feel like Stranger Things is the easiest to compare because I'd never seen a show as long as that for me personally. But I see, like, when you look at the Stranger Things and you see this long time, it seems very daunting. Where I think looking at it and seeing like a 40-minute, it doesn't seem as scary for some reason to like be like, ooh, I'm really about to sit down and watch.
like a half a day's worth of something.
Yeah.
No,
But I actually do think that these should have been, because I think the first episode could have stood on its own just fine. The second felt like it needed the third. And I think doing a 1 and then a 2 episode kind of thing would seem weird. So I think it's probably better that they just put 3. Yeah. And in this case, it's not like She-Hulk, who has 9, or somebody who has like 6 episodes. He does have, I think, like at least 12. And you already know it's getting a second season. So, you know what I mean? It feels like there's enough episodes to be like, let's join them together. I will say, I don't think this is my favorite Star Wars show.
Not my favorite.
But
I thought I was gonna be more excited for it, because I did like Rogue One. I kind of liked it, but
I think
it's not doing what I thought it was gonna be doing. I thought it was gonna really focus on him becoming like a rebel or whatever.
I think it is now. I think it's gonna pick up. Like so. I think that's where we're headed.
Clearly, now he's going to become a rebel, because he left with him on his ship, and I guess he knows he can't go back, so he might as well do that. But
I think this first episode was just kind of setting
his backstory,
setting the foundation, being like, this is where he's from, this is why he knows her, and her. This is who he is. And then now we're going to kind of get into this more. Because I think they said it's supposed to be more like a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is where we're headed now.
Yeah.
I just think we had to get over this little, like, almost like a pilot. Like, most pilot shows aren't great. Yeah. I think that's
or just like
this
the backstories that you knew what he was doing or why he was doing certain things.
I think we're going to get into, like, the fun. And I've seen a lot of people say this feels like an HBO Max show.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about... Well, see, here's the thing. We don't really watch HBO Max shows. Like, we watch Titans. Yeah. That's the most... And we watch Selena Plus Chef. Those are the most HBO we've gotten. So, as far as, like... I don't know if they mean something more like that show. I think it's Succession that won all those... Yeah. That was for the Emmys or whatever. Maybe that's what people mean. I don't really know. But it doesn't... I will say it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. Like in a kiddish kind of way.
None of them do to me anymore. Even She-Hulk doesn't seem like a Disney Plus show to me.
I think they're trying to fix that branding where they're like, I don't want people to watch this to be like, this is got the Disney stamp all over it. You know? I don't know. I could be just talking a little silly goofy. Maybe I am. We'll be back next Friday. The episode will not be as long as this. We had to cover 3 episodes. Yeah. It would probably be more like half hour.
Yeah, probably like She-Hulk's half hour.
Yeah, half hour. Typically, like a 1 episode is like a half hour.
I have to stand up soon.
Oh.
I think I have to do it now. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, you know. Oh.
Sorry.
She hit the mic. All right.
I just need my other shoe while I stand. Sorry. Go ahead. It's like a standing desk thing. Like
yeah. You just be ready for when you tell me to cut. Got it?
Cut.
Sure. So thank you guys for listening. Like we said, next week will be a little bit shorter. If you know any of the answers to our questions that we talked about, go ahead, leave them.
Yeah, please feel free to leave them, because,
like we said, we don't really.
We're confused as anybody. Or confused.
You could comment them on our Instagram or our YouTube, or in a 5-star review, no lower than a 4.5, please and thank you. Also give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If you want to leave a negative thing, just leave it in a positive review saying how we can improve.
Yeah, leave it in a positive spin, you know.
If this isn't for you, it might be for somebody else, though. So you don't want to be negative and ruin somebody else's experience.
Definitely not.
Never, ever. That's it.
But still listen anyway, because you know what? It still counts for us.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
True. So follow us on Instagram. We watch it all. We'll be back next Friday to cover episode 4. We'll also be doing She-Hulk, and on Saturdays we do the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills if you're interested.
You should be interested, because we're only halfway through and they're already crack-a-lacking.
Yeah, and on Mondays we do our normal podcast. We spin a little wheel and we talk about the shows that we watch on our own separately throughout the week. And I think that might be it. So follow us. Thank you so much for listening. 5 stars or 4.5. And thumbs up. Say it.
Hit the button. Please. I gotta go put the chair away.